I'm going to show you how we can do an adorably cute short nail. A lot of times customers will come in with nails just like this or even a little shorter. They just want a little bit of an extension. They just want it to look very natural in probably the job that they do. Maybe cashier, a nurse, waitress. Their hands are very busy. They may not want them too long, or they want to start short and let them grow long. So we're going to take this off, and I'm going to show you how adorable we can make. It's still an extension, but we're going to make an extension on the short side. As short as we can go, but still be an extension. Okay, I'm just going to quickly take off this gel. I got a tiny bit of an extension here. Maybe just a little bit over the edge. So we can see it is a little bit over the edge right now, but maybe it's a little bit, just a tiny bit. I just call it a titch. We have all sorts of names we make up. Titch is one of my names. A couple of titches or a titch. A smidge. Now I'm just going to switch to my arbor band and prep this nail for the extension. I'm going to go really natural. We're going to make these really natural looking. Get rid of the dust. Today we're going to use hybrid gel, which in my brand, that's a product name. My brand is called Easy Gel. So I need Bridge. Bridge is the adhesion that I use to bond the two things together, being the natural nail and the Easy Gel to my nail. When I put this on, I sort of massage it on, kind of like little circular motions. And it's not thick, it's on the thinner side. And then you just need to cure it. And I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. Okay, he's all prepared, ready to go. So I'm going to form it up. I'm going to use a form because I love custom built sculptured nails. I prefer a custom sculptured nail, especially when it's short, is because it really is customly fit to this nail. And then it's going to make it look so much more natural. Now, I will say my little finger here, I don't cut forms. I try to avoid it at all costs because when you're doing clients day in and day out, it really does add to it. But a few times you might want to cut. And this particular finger of mine is actually kind of pointy. It's got a high hyponychium. This is why I have a little free edge here. My hyponychium is pretty much parallel with this free edge. They're pretty much the same. They meet each other at that. That's why I can't really go much shorter. So this form here, I just need to cut out a tiny little bit in here to make it more comfortable. So my hyponychium sits right in that little groove. So all I do for that, and this is the only finger I do this for, it is the tiniest little cut. And I'll show you. Look how that groove fits right in there. It feels really comfortable. If you have a high hyponychium, you'll know what I mean when that paper hits it. It hurts. It's the most sensitive part. I think it's the most sensitive part of the human body, actually. I read that somewhere. So we don't want to put the paper in there where it's jamming up against it. So cutting that little thing just makes it fit in there really snug, like a puzzle. Now, not to toot my own products, but I'm going to for this moment because these forms are awesome. I designed them so they're a little bit stronger paper so they can withstand the pressure when you're pushing down when you're using a hybrid gel. Okay, we're going to go natural. I have a product. Now this client, let's pretend I'm the client. I want him to be very natural looking, so that's why I'm picking this product. It's naturally fake, and it's beautiful. If it's done properly, as anything, it's gorgeous. I'm going to show you. So this customer of mine, which is me, likes to have something quite natural looking, an extension of their natural nail, but just a little bit, because it's going to go better with their job. That's why we want to custom design nails to people. I'm just going to do the free edge this color. I could do the whole thing, and it actually looks quite pretty, but I'm going to get a little fancy. Because I like this customer, I want her to come back. So I'm just going to get a little bit, and I'm going to place that on the free edge. And I'm going to get a little dab of alcohol, and I recommend using 70% alcohol. I don't recommend using monomer. So if you're using your monomer as the moisture to move your product around, you can. Some companies have that for you to use, but I suggest you don't. I would stick to alcohol. Continued use of monomer flooding into your nail all the time can cause an allergic reaction or contact dermatitis. So I wouldn't use monomer constantly. So you can see I am really creating the free edge. I'm going to go very square. I don't think this customer is going to want it super, super square, but I'm going to make it super square because they said square. It's always a good place to start. You can always go square and then soften it. You just don't want to add. That's a real pain. So make it really square. And that's what I'm going to do for this customer because they said they like square. Now, of course, bear with me. I'm pretending I'm the customer. We could have done Cameraman's nails. Right, Cameraman?
Yes, but I like my nails long.
Well, that just... Are you paying attention what this video is about? Get on board. We got to be on the same page. That would be the day where I put really long nails on you. That might be kind of fun, though.
I think it would be fun, yeah.
What would they look like?
Something that Dracula would wear, I think.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Because you look a lot like that. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm just literally putting it on the free edge and I'm squaring up. Now, this isn't acrylic, so I can play with this all day. Acrylic is going to demand me to be done, but this stuff, I can just play. But I'm not going to. I'm going to, so we can get this done. So as you can see, I'm just doing a little bit. I'm not really paying attention to the length so much. I'm just making sure it's all there. We do not want this nail very long. They made it very clear they want it short. So we're just going to square it up. Notice how I didn't really French it. I let it sit where the natural nail is, but I feathered it down to where the natural nail. You can do either. And of course, you could have put this on top of the whole nail, but I'm just going to have a little fun with trying to make it look really natural. The reason why this is natural too, because the color, do you see the color here? It's not super white. Okay, I need to focus. Now, if you're working on yourself, it's really important to flip it over. You can see that other angle that I had it at. That's a very awkward angle to make sure it's going to be square. Look how wonky this is. Okay, so what I want to do is make that nice and square. Now, this is the angle that when I'm doing a customer, this is the angle that I see it at. So I can do that right away. But when I'm doing myself, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's nice and square. Now we're going shorter. So I'm just going to square up this little corner, even though I'm going to go shorter than this. Just going to square it up just to be sure. Okay. Let's go back to it this way. Okay, once you're happy with the way that looks, give it a little bit of a nuke. So at this point, you can take the form off. Now, you can only take it off if you've taken the naturally fake part, the free edge part that you put on, whatever color you put on, and you feathered it back onto the natural nail. If you didn't feather it back and it's just sitting on the paper, then when you take this off, the nail just might go with it. So just as long as you feathered it back, you can do that. So just pinch, release the sides, give it a pinch, and pull back. So that's giving you an idea of what that natural nail was going to look like. So you can just look it all the way around. I'm very happy with that. Very natural looking. So I'm going to put away my naturally fake because that's my free edge. And again, you could put this over top of the whole nail. I've done it and it's actually quite beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to use my Suzie's pink tint. Now I specifically mixed this particular color, especially for the more of an opaque, see-through, sort of half and half color to go over top of ombres and such. And this is basically an ombre. I don't need too much. I really just want to cover the nail bed and maybe slightly going over top of the free edge, just a little bit. Love this color. It's also very natural looking. Just got a little bit of 70% alcohol and I'm just flattening it down into the cuticle area. smooth you can make that cuticle look. And get it really close. So once you get it to the colors that you want, you can always add more pink. I'm going to give it a nuke right now because I like what I see. That's looking really natural. So what I'll do at this point is examine to make sure that it is exactly the depth that I want it, that it's going to be thick enough for what I want to do. I'll take a look at it sideways. I'll take a look at it down here, and it actually looks pretty good. So if it's too thin in one spot you want to add, but you don't want to change the color, if you add pink in the spot that you think it's too thin, you're going to be too heavy with pink. So you can actually add a clear over the whole thing, that it will fill in those areas. Rather than filling in with color, it'll just make it a deeper color. Maybe you want a deep color, maybe you don't, right? If you're trying to keep it natural looking, maybe you don't want any more color in there. This looks actually quite natural. So just to show you how to do it, I am going to take a little bit of clear, and I've cured it. Everything's ready to go. I'm going to take some clear hybrid gel. You could actually do this with hard gel too. So I'm going to grab just a little bit of the clear. I don't need much because I'm just going to go over top of the whole thing and just sort of even the whole thing out. Like I say, this is an extra. You may or may not need this. I'm going to pretend that we do need it, but I don't want to change the color. I'm sort of like putting a glass frame over my painting. I don't want to add any more color or design to it. I want to keep it the way it is. I'm just adding some strength or like a protective layer, like a glass might be to a painting. So you can see that I'm just sort of going over the whole thing a little bit. And this can be as lumpy and bumpy as you want. You don't have to have any particular, you know, finishing it really nice with this. You can just get it on there. It's like a thick coat of nail polish or gel polish, right? See that? You just put it right over top. Let's get rid of that free edge. Right? Just put it over. It kind of smooths the whole thing right out. As in the color, right? We're just going to leave it like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and file it. Oh, I got a new kit. And then we're going to go ahead and file it. Okay, now I want to remove the sticky dispersion layer. Just get it right off. Just take some alcohol and a pad and just get rid of that. And I am going to put a mask on because I'm filing a whole nail. Okay. Oh, you know what? If you want to get into this and dive deep, I've got a 3-day workshop coming up. You can check my website for the details, nailcareer.com. Okay, I'm going to put this mask on real fast here. Now we're doing some heavy sculpting here, so I'm going to get my bulk and sculpt. And I'm going to turn it up to about between a 5 and a 10, whatever you're comfortable with. So what I will do is determine the length. Now this is important to this customer. She doesn't want it too long because of her busy day and lifestyle. We did talk about it being a little bit over top, so you can see we don't want it too much over top. We can always shorten it more, but that's a pretty good way to start. Let's start there. And then I'm going to take away that thickness. I'm going to file back and forth, back and forth. If you go over top of a wonky nail like this, you're going to file away all the high points to equal out all the low points. And you're going to come up with a beautiful shaped nail. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it sideways a little bit. You see how it's kind of hanging? We don't want that. We want it to be even with this. So we're going to bring it right up. You can't finish it with your E-file, but we can certainly just take away the bulk. We'll finish that with a hand file. And I'll do the same with this side. Okay, and then I'll look down the barrel of it. Yikes, right? Really thick over here. We're just going to thin the whole thing out. Going to go around the cuticle. You don't have to do this. This is if you just want to check your cuticle, make sure it's nice and smooth. It's looking pretty good. I'm just going to grab my medium file and let's get this nice and shaped before we finish it. Okay, I really need to go like this. And I'm going to go over top of the whole nail to make it nice and smooth with my arbor band. Go smoothly around the cuticle. Over top of the whole thing. Okay. Oopsie. Now I'm going to buff it with my sanding sponge. Okay, now let me go ahead and finish all of them because that'll give us the most beautiful effect for a full 5-fingered natural nail set. So remember, you as the customer get to decide what length and shape and color that work with your lifestyle. And you can have adorable short nails. They can be beautiful. Catch you in the next video.